taking ownership of your life? Are you taking ownership of your life? Are we a victor or a victim? I know when you even say that, no one out their mouth is like, I'm a victim. Some people are actually. I take that back. Some people do out their mouth constantly say that they're a victim of things, right? But when you think about it, do you take ownership for where your life is? Do you take ownership for the things that are happening? Do you take ownership for where you currently are emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually? Like, do you take ownership of that, or do you look outside of you? Do you point at, well, if my job didn't work me so hard, I wouldn't be as tired. Or if my family were more supportive, then I'd be here. Or if back in the day my parents didn't, right, instill this in me, then I'd be different. Like, that is the victim mentality. I know sometimes it's hard to take ownership of our life, but figure out, if you're pointing the finger still at other people and other things and other circumstances and other reasons why your life is not where you want it to be, you're a victim. You're treating your life like a victim. And we have to take ownership. If it is to be, it's up to me. It's my problem. It's my fault. I am where I am because of me, because of my insecurities, because of how I react, because of my emotions, because of me. And once you take ownership of your life, ladies and gentlemen, everything changes. Once you take full ownership of your life and say, if it is to be, it's up to me, right? Ownership, it all changes. And that's what gives you the power to now go out and design your ideal life, right? ET said, execution is worship. Execution is worship. That means we can talk it. You can talk the game. You can have the conversations. You can think about it. You can have great thoughts. But execution is worship. Are you executing on your goals and dreams? You know what I always tell you guys, right? Don't just be hearers of this word, be doers of it. That's the execution part. A lot of the stuff I tell you, you're like, oh, I know that. Yeah, you're right. I know that. But do you operate in that? Is that your everyday? Are you executing on the things you know? Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. What are you waking up every day for? Do you know your why? Again, we just repeat the same messages over and over again until you get it through your head, right? Until we start to understand, right? That's really all this is. Because again, life is not a game of all these different things. That's like a internet thing, right? Where you need to know this and you need to know this and this is your key and this is the formula. No, no, no. It's like a few things that you're just not doing. It's a few thought processes that you're just not changing, right? Life is a game of millimeters. It's just little shifts. So, do you know why you're waking up every morning? If it wasn't for your job or whatever you're doing to make money, why are you waking up every day? What are you going after? If it wasn't just to fulfill your responsibilities of your family duties or again, your work, what are you waking up for? What's your why? Do you understand what you truly want? I'm going to drive this point home until the cows come home, y'all, because I work with so many people that don't know what they want. Like, you really just don't know what you actually want. You've never taken time to sit down with yourself and just write out, this is my life. This is what I want in my heart of hearts, not what my family says, not what my spouse says, not what the job says, not what social media says. Like, truly, if I just like had me and just me, like, this is what I want from my life. Most people don't know that. You have to know that if you want to go off and design your ideal life. You have to at least be able to answer that question, because that's the beginning of all the rest of the things. Why would you put yourself through the pain, through the struggle, through the sacrifice? Why would you put yourself through it if you don't know what you want? If you don't know what the outcome is? If you don't know the man or woman that you're trying to grow into? If you don't know the things that you're headed towards, why would you do any of this? Why would you wake up and jump on a call? Why would you practice these things that go against society? Why would you eliminate distract? Like, why would you do any of it? It's because you're clear about, this is what I want to make happen for my family. This is the man or woman I want to become. This is the type of things I see for myself from a health standpoint. These are the types of things I'm experiencing in my life, right? Like, I would always say, right, my definition of wealth is to fully experience all that God has to offer us, right? The places, sights, sounds, things that God has in store for me to see. It's my definition of wealth. So when I say I want to be wealthy, it's not just like I just have a bunch of money. It's I want to be able to experience this world. I want to be able to experience this life. We only get a short period of time here, a small period of time. So we can do it being tired and being anxious and depressed and all the stuff for years and years and years and just kind of crawling through, or we can just suck it up, get into the mental gym, get into the emotional gym, get into the spiritual gym, build your muscles up so that you can have the capacity to go be wealthy, to go experience all that God has for you to experience. This is why I do it, right? None of this stuff is always easy. None of this stuff is just simple things. These are tough. And I know what I want. I know the vision I have for my family. I've said this to a lot of people and I say it over and over again. I told you I don't have it because I'm out of my environment, but I have my master plan to energize and focus, right? I foresee the legacy home with me and my wife's picture up there. And that's great, great grandpappy Muzan, right? Like that, like I see that. Like I see that level where that like my great, great, great grandchildren, they see the picture up on the wall, they see us, they have video content of us in building this thing. I see that. That's 50, 100 years. I don't know how long, but that's what I want. That's what I want. So I go after it. Just like Eric Thomas says, I wake up every day knowing that this is what I'm spending the rest of my life doing. That is the vision. And they're all little small visions along the way. My challenge to you is, do you have yours? Do you have yours? Do you know what you want? Because once you know what you want, like ET said, now we spend the rest of our life waking up and going after it. And it takes you being persistent in order to do that. That's what's in the text for today. It takes your persistence. I had a mentor of mine used to always say, persistence beats resistance. Anything that is resisting you, if it's people, if it's spiritual forces, it's what, if you get any resistance, persistence actually beats resistance. It overcomes resistance all the time. It's just, are we persistent? Are we persistent? Here's what it says in the text. It says, champions know the power of persistence. It says, average people never truly decide what they want. So they wander from job to job, chasing different things until time finally runs out. Persistence to amateurs is never really a factor because they haven't focused on any single goal long enough to be persistent. When pros determine what they want, they burn their vision into their minds on a daily basis. They become obsessed with attaining the goal at almost any cost. At this stage, persistence becomes the primary factor in their success. Persistence becomes the primary factor in their success. Some of you just aren't persistent enough. Maybe it's because you don't know exactly what you want. Anyway, it says amateurs are often impressed by this, yet the champions are simply following their passions and refusing to look back. They reach a mental state in which the failure to persist is no longer an option. The great ones know the longer they hang tough, the greater the odds of victory. What looks like Herculean persistence to the outside world is really just a manifestation of world-class mental clarity in action. Champions decide what they want down to the last detail and then wage war to get it. Their sense of purpose and dogged persistence is a hard combination to beat. The great ones become unstoppable because they've convinced themselves there is no way to fail. This subjective perception is one of the most common thought processes of the world class. While the rest of the world watches with doubt and disbelief, champions talk themselves into believing that winning is their destiny and defeat is impossible. This winning expectation is the fuel that drives the champion to persist until they succeed, no matter how much pain they have to endure. Winners win. That's what ET said. Winners win. It's a winning expectation. Do you expect to win? Do you expect to get to the life of your dreams, your ideal life? Like, do you expect that? That's got to be in you. That's got to be within you. Like, that's what these calls are for. It's to be around and hear the messages of like, hey, like, is it in you? Are you expecting that? Because the world gives you the doubt and disbelief. That's all that's out there. That's why most people aren't successful in anything, right? Not just in their financial life or their business life, like in their own like mental toughness, in their own emotional intelligence. Like most people just aren't successful at things. It's just because they're not thinking about this They don't have the expectation of winning. That's what you need to have. So first, it says it in here. In order to get the persistence, you got to know what you want. You got to, like, again, it seems so simple, y'all, but and you don't have to raise your hand. You have to, if I polled most of you, you don't have your goals written down. Some of you might. Ron might. I believe in Ron. No, I'm joking. But like most people don't. Most people don't have their goals written down. You don't have your vision written down. You don't know what 15 years looks like. You might still be in the mindset. He's showing it on the page. There we go. I knew it, man. I can feel these things, right? But most people don't have that. Most people hear it and then they don't go do it. You don't spend time with yourself. You don't sit down to figure out what 15 years looks like. You might still be in the mindset. And again, if that's you, that's fine. That's just your area of growth. Not no right, no condemnation. No, like, you don't have to worry about it. Just you gotta practice that stuff if you actually want to get to that life. You gotta be the person that says, yeah, I can see 10 years out. I have a clear mental picture of what 10 years looks like. Of course, it's whatever God is going to give you, whatever is in his will, whatever, right? Of course, we know those things, but you still need a vision. You still need to see something in your mind because if you have nothing to see in your mind, it's likely you're just going to end up wherever life takes you. That's not what we're called to do, right? And so you have to spend some time with yourself, but we're distracted. And so once you get clear on exactly what you want, then it's about your persistence. Then it's about burning that vision into your mind. It's about reading it all the time. And then you wake up every day going after that vision. Of course you're going to have some bad days. Of course you're going to have some setbacks. Of course you're going to get sick or you're going to have things that happen to you or things that happen to your family and it knocks you a little bit off track. But if you keep waking up every day obsessed with obtaining the goal that you set before yourself, the vision that you have for yourself, it will happen. That's my belief. Again, that's what it says in here. It said it somewhere in there about the great ones become unstoppable because they convince themselves there's no way to fail, right? This subjective perception is one of the most common thought processes of the world class. Like I just believe it's going to happen. I just, and that's something you have to get if you want to go off and design your ideal life, ladies and gentlemen. You just got to believe that it's going to happen and you got to stay persistent. You got to stay persistent to your goals. Again, know that this is just you making a decision, getting clear on exactly what you want, and then going after it every single day, regardless of what you have. This is going to help you develop this mental toughness to be able to overcome the adversities, to push past the trials, to push past whatever is happening around you in your life. You just take it as it comes. You have the capacity, you've built yourself, you're emotionally intelligent enough that you've built yourself up to be able to say, you know what, that's okay. This too shall pass, right? I'll get through this one. God, what are you trying to show me? Okay, I'm building my character here. This is a character building season. Okay, that's fine. Now I know on the other side of this, I'm going to have a rock solid character, but it's because I stayed persistent. You kept going after it. Persistence beats resistance. If the world gives you resistance, persistence is what cuts through that. Most people don't have it. That's why we have to talk about it in this text. In 177 mental toughness secrets, they have to remind you, hey, by the way, you got to stay persistent at this thing. You got to win. You got to know that and have an expectation that you're going to win. You got to know why you're waking up. You got to stop being a victim. You got to take ownership of your life and get clear on what you want, ladies and gentlemen. Get clear on what you want. This quote here says, if I had to select one quality, one personal characteristic that I regard as being most highly correlated with success, whatever the field, I would pick the trait of persistence, determination, the will to endure to the end, to get knocked down 70 times and get off the floor saying, here goes 71. That is one of the things highly correlated with success. Success in any area of your life, ladies and gentlemen, will come from your determination. I had a mentor that used to always say, it's your hunger. You're looking for people that are hungry. You're looking to be around people that are hungry, that are determined, that are persistent, that have that trait. And if that's not you yet, you can build that trait. starts with getting clear and then getting around people that have persistence, that won't let you quit, that won't let you quit. I was having this conversation with one of my accountability partners. Again, I believe in accountability. It's the only way we actually get to where we want to go. If no one holds you accountable, if you're the judge and the jury and all the stuff, if that's you, we're going to fail. Enemy's going to take you away really quickly. You got to have people that know the path that you're on and hold you accountable to it. I was just talking to him about this, and he was like, man, it sucks when you have an accountability partner that lets you be less than great. That's not the purpose of the accountability partner, right? When you have an accountability partner that like you guys are supposed to go to the gym every day, and then he's like, oh, I didn't go to the gym today. And you're like, oh, neither did I. That's not really accountability. Like somebody's got to be like, you better get up and go to the gym. Like, I don't care what you're doing. Like, get and go to the gym. Like, that's the accountability. You need someone in your life that's persistent, that has more determination than you, that will step up and help you move in that direction. That's what you're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Was there an action step? Yeah. Action step for today says make a list of the times you exhibited ironclad persistence. Go back to your childhood if necessary. Ask this next critical thinking question. If I apply that same world-class persistence to my current challenges, would it change my life? You've been persistent at some point through something. Those of you that were married or are married, you were persistent at getting your spouse. That's the way it goes, right? That's the courting process. So there's some part of you that has been persistent in something. You might have been persistent in getting that job. You might have been persistent with making sure that your kids listen to you. It didn't matter how many times they fought you over and over again. You constantly told them what they needed to hear. That's persistent. So you have it in you. It's not that you don't. You just haven't applied it to the current challenges and current state of your life. Today is another day we get a chance to get one step closer to our goals, one step closer to our dreams, one step closer to the man or woman God called you to be. It's your responsibility to take ownership of your life. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. I'm hard on you, just like I'm hard on myself. Right. You guys get to know me. I'm hard. I'm telling y'all this, but I'm speaking to me too, because I'm hard on myself in the same ways, because that's what it takes. You need people around you that are pushing you for greatness. The rest of the world, a lot of your family, they just rub your back. They coddle you. They tell you it's going to be okay. It won't be okay if you don't keep doing the work. It won't be okay. You can pay now or you can pay later, but either way, you're going to pay. So just pay now, pay it up front, do the hard work now, sacrifice now, do all the things that are hard, go through therapy, like whatever you got to do it now so that you can actually get to that ideal life. We only have a short time here, y'all. So we got to go off and make a difference. Love you guys. Enjoy your Wednesday. I'll see you back here on Friday. Take care.